Uh, but you don't want to damage the roots. You want to take the plant out just like so. You see the root system is still intact. That's very important when you're transplanting. Make sure the root system is still intact. You don't want to damage it, just like an operation. You don't want to damage it. Hey everybody, good afternoon. We're going to do a video today on transplanting bell peppers. Transplanting and growing bell peppers. So we planted some bell peppers about 2 months ago. Um, and some of them are doing well. So that's what we're going to do the video on today. Now here you see there's a bell peppers here about 8 inches high. About 8 inches high. And then we're gonna go over here by the fence. You'll see some smaller bell peppers. Right. There's another plant here. And we're expecting these to grow up near the fence. And eventually they'll get this high. This is another bell pepper plant. We planted about 10 months ago, last February. Okay. Notice the bell peppers on these. In this high rise. Now these here, in this high rise here, these are 2 bell pepper plants I planted yesterday. I transplanted yesterday. Okay. Here's some smaller ones from the seeds. Now this area is mostly somewhat a shaded area here. Uh, but bell peppers, they enjoy sunshine. So you should try to at least plant them in areas so they can get some sun in the afternoon. But here in zone 10, Central Florida, it gets so hot here in the summer times, I say around 95 to 100 degrees. Uh, terrible, terrible humidity. So you want to make sure they have some shade as well. You don't just want them to be out in the 95-degree sun all day. You're going to have some problems. So that's why we have these over here and these high rise here. And this one here been here about 10 months. And this one likewise. This one isn't doing too well. I was just going to leave it in there for a little while, see what it's going to do. Eventually we may have to take it out. Here's some smaller ones here. So we transplanted these 2 from a pot. So we're going to go over here and we're going to talk about transplanting peppers. And mainly we're talking about bell peppers right now. But we go along the fence here. Stay with me. You see more smaller bell peppers coming up right here, here. Some of them are kind of close, so we may have to move some of them over to a different area. Well, anyway, when you're transplanting bell peppers, you may start out on the inside if you're in a cooler climate. After your freezers, your temperature begin to rise, you may start from the inside. Anyway, last year we did plant them in the smaller containers like here. But now, these are not bell peppers. But if you had a bell pepper, you may start out in a smaller container. When you take it out, you want to make sure that you don't damage the roots. Uh, you don't want to damage the roots. So you take it out. You see how that plant is coming out of there? You don't want to damage the root system. So this is a weed, really. You don't just want to pull it out like this. Don't do that. It's grass. Don't pull it out. You see how that came out? You see the root system there? You want to leave the root system intact. So that's how the plant is going to get its food. The cells are in the roots, and normally if you damage the roots, it's just like uh, you're destroying the plant. The roots is there so the plant can obtain its food, obtain nutrients from the soil. Uh, and you have cells in these roots uh, what, that will go down in the soil and absorb the nutrients from the soil. What you do here, when you're getting ready to remove the plant from the pot, you make sure you don't damage the roots. Don't just pull it out. I'm speaking as if some of you may not have done anything with gardening. I hadn't really done much, but I used to be a gardener many years ago. But you don't want to damage the root. You want to take the plant out just like so. You see the root system is still intact. That's very important when you're transplanting. Make sure the root system is still intact. You don't want to damage it. It's just like an operation. You don't want to damage it, the root system. Okay? You try to keep as much soil on the plant as possible because this plant needs the nutrients to survive. And all these things go into play. Chemistry of this, uh, the pH, and all of that. It goes intact. So you want to make sure the soil has moisture on it. And when you're replacing the plant back, okay, say you're replacing the plant back. You see I got this plant here on this trowel, okay? I'm going to place it right down in the place that I want it to go. I didn't damage the root system because if you do, the plant's going to be in great stress and it won't be able to absorb the nutrients from the soil. Okay, so you want to make sure you do that. And put water on it, light fertilizer, feed it a little so it won't be under stress. Giving it a chance. The reason why you put a little fertilizer, you want to assist it so it can be able to absorb the nutrients right away. You know, those roots have to redevelop again. So there you go. And that's basically how you transplant uh, peppers, just like that. And you don't do it you don't wait on a 95-degree day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to transplant. You want to do that early in the morning. Early in the morning so your plant won't be under stress. Okay? Well, I think I told you everything you need to know. This is a fairly simple video. And when you transplant it, area that you're going in, make sure that the soil, you're giving your plant a chance to survive, to be successful in the area that you're planting in. Make sure the soil that you have tested the soil, the pH, uh, and the soil have nutrients. You don't just want to throw it in some sandy soil. Okay, you want to place it in soil that can hold the nutrients. You know, when you water the plant, if it rains, you don't want all the nutrients to just be washed out the soil. So if you place it in sandy soil, you're going to be in trouble. That's why you got to grow your soil first, develop your soil, giving your plant an opportunity to survive. You just can't just go in there and throw it on a sandy area that you haven't developed the soil. That's why you need compost and because you can give it all the fertilizer you need, but if your soil, if your plant is not taking the nutrients out the ground, it's not going to do you no good. And you can tell when that's happening, okay? So you got to treat the plant after you transplant it, just just like you would a baby, okay? You just don't bring the baby home and just expect that baby to manage by itself. No, you got to assist that baby. You got to take care of that baby. Well, that's the same way you have to do a plant. You have to take care of the plant, okay? You got to feed it. You have to nurse it. You have to put it in a nursery, okay? You don't just want to throw it out there in the midst of high temperatures, okay? Haven't treated the soil. You got to develop the soil so the plant can thrive, okay? Just like a baby. The baby have to crawl first before it can walk. Well, that's the same way with the plant. You have to nourish the plant, okay? You got to make sure that the plant is pulling the nutrients out the soil, okay? So that's one of the main reasons you don't want to damage the roots of the plant. Well, anyway, I think I told you enough on this video how to grow. You got to nourish the plant. You got to feed it. You have to make sure that it's eating, okay? And you have to make sure that it's pulling the nutrients out the soil. So that's why you do your pH test of the water that you're putting on it. You got to do a test on the water that you're putting on the plant. And you also have to do a pH test on the soil, okay? Because the nutrients is relying on the pH of that soil, okay? Well, anyway, have a great day. We talk to you real soon. Don't forget to subscribe and continue to learn about plants. Learn more about plants. Don't just throw them out there. You want your plant to thrive so you can have a great harvest. We'll talk to you later. Have a great evening.